me. This is about how to nab one like me. Let's be honest. Men watching this video watched my last one about what men really want. And apparently I have far more men watching me than females. Well, I guess it's good for them because more men will watch this video, right? So you watched my last video and you thought to yourself, how do I get a female to treat me like how she treats her husband? You heard me speaking about my husband and you thought, I want a woman who speaks about me that way. You heard me speak about our relationship and you thought, I want something solid like that. Last night, my husband looked at me and said, he's more in love with me now every day, even more than 10 years ago. And you want that. And you want to know how to get that. Well, good thing I'm making these videos. The very first step is becoming the kind of catch a woman like that wants. You have to make yourself attractive to a woman like that, to the kind of woman who will treat you well and love you. And I'll give you some insights as to how to do that. But this is not going to be as simple as my other video, What Men Really Want, because unfortunately, guys, women are a lot more complicated than men. Like, for real. I really envy no guy. It's way harder to date when you're a guy. I'm really glad I'm a female. I do have a secret sauce answer in this video as well. However, there are some other things that I ought to make known. I'm not going to delude any fellas out there. It is difficult to find a good woman. For the same reason it's difficult to find a good man. No one wants to better themselves, to become the kind of people that other people want to be with. The harsh Veritas is that men have been painted out as toxic, and women have generally gobbled up the message, the false message, that masculinity equals toxic, masculinity equals bad. So yes, it is hard to find a woman who's going to treat you well and you can have a successful relationship with. That's why it is so important to become the kind of man who would attract that kind of woman. That's why I made the other video, and that's why I'm making this video now. If you want relationship success with a good woman who's going to treat you well, heed this advice. The biggest thing you're going to have to do moving forward is tweak some things about yourself. This is the reason I make videos, to help individuals become better individuals, and then we can create together a better society. People need to be made aware of their shortcomings and why people might not want to date them in order to make themselves better and meet better potential spouses. A lot of people just aren't that great, and no one's telling them. We live in a world where people feed each other this constant affirmation, and we wonder why we're so miserable if we're really as great as people say we are. The fact is that people aren't as great as they think they are. If you're having trouble, you need to tweak something. It does no one any good to be constantly affirmed when they ought not be. Constant affirmation is not what forces necessary growth. And without growth, you cannot break free from your current situation. Now, there's a reason why happy wife, happy life is a true statement. Women are masters at psychological warfare. We will brain ninja you so fast, you will wonder if anything you thought you knew was true. Women, like men, need emotional stability to be, well, emotionally stable. Men, it's important for you to know right now, you can't make any woman happy. I'm not saying that to be mean or anything like that. I'm letting you know that if a woman is an unhappy person before she's in a relationship is not going to make her happy. She needs to learn how to be happy before she's with someone else. If a woman is relying on a man to make her happy, she will never be happy. People need to choose happiness. And if her emotional stability is dependent on reactions from you, run. Let's move forward. What's my secret sauce? I'll tell you. In my last video, I said that the secret sauce for luring and keeping a good man was that he needed to feel respected. The secret sauce for luring and keeping a good woman is that she needs to feel loved. Now, what does that exactly mean? In my last video, I went over tips about how a woman could show a man she respected him, and those tips can certainly be applied to women. They ought to be. However, women feel love in a different way from men, and it's simply biologically wired in them too. Yes, all people want love and respect, But love and respect are applied and subconsciously understood differently between the sexes. Women experience love in a different way from men, and it's biological. And women understand love as being physically and emotionally safe and secure. Now, if you watched my last video, I talked about men's roles as providers and protectors. Women go hand in hand with that. They want to be with men who are providers and protectors because that is what fulfills their natural biological need to feel loved. The good news is that so few guys are actually like this. So the guys that become this way really get their pick. They get the cream of the crop of the women who want to be with men and treat them well. But I say this over and over again, you must become the bait for the kind of catch you want. It's much more complicated to make a woman feel loved than it is to make a man feel respected. And that has to do with how much it requires death to self. Everybody always gets excited when they hear that. Both respect and love are actions first, attitudes second. You must physically display each one, and your actions will become your character. It's a do what's right even if you don't feel like it. There is a nuance to a woman feeling loved. There's also a lot that is required of a man in order to be able to love her at all. Not everyone can love. Most people unlearn how to love the more that they grow. Think of a child. Children are so much more loving and forgiving than adults are. So how do men relearn how to love? How do men signal to other women that they are capable of giving them the kind of genuine love they crave? Well, let's delve into it. The first tip is that you ought to learn your partner's love language. Yes, everybody should know their own love language and learn their partner's, but it's especially important for women to feel loved through their love language, so I'm highly recommending it in this video. The easiest and most efficient way for a woman to feel loved is responding to her in her love language. There are 5. There's words of affirmation, quality time spent, acts of service, receiving gifts, and physical touch. Her love language is going to be one of those 5, and then she'll probably have a secondary. There are lots of tests you can take online together to figure out what your love languages are. When she's upset with you, love her in her love language. This is a life hack. It's so much easier to make a woman feel loved when you respond to her in her love language. Let me give you an example. Let's say your partner's love language is acts of service, and she gets upset by something you do. Now, going out and buying her flowers, that's great and all, but it's not going to have that much of an effect on her if it has one at all. What might work is cleaning the kitchen or cleaning out her car. Learning what makes your woman tick is crucial to her feeling cared about at all. Go figure. Next, while women don't care near as much about looks as men might, it's still very important for men to stay fit, since women will subconsciously look at a man and try to figure out if he is a provider and protector. Women want to know that men can be providers and protectors. Women are lucky in this aspect. We can be out of shape and still be able to have the babies. Men, on the other hand, need to be able to move a couch at any moment. So, men, a blunt truth, lose some weight and then hit the weight room. Women need to be able to see that a man is physically capable of protecting her. Now, does that mean you have to be Mr. Universe or 6 feet tall? No, but you should be fit enough to move a couch. A lot of guys are overweight and out of shape. You are not signaling to a female that you have what it takes to be a provider and protector if you don't take care of your body. You're signaling that you have low self-control and low self-discipline. So it's less about sexual attraction, which does matter to women. It's more about showing the man's character, which can be surveyed through his body. The next important thing, do what you say you are going to do. This shows that a man is reliable, and this matters a lot to females. This matters to females because, once again, it signals that men are the providers and protectors, even if women are making more money. It's a subconscious cue. If you are someone who does not have follow-through, you are only perceived as an untrustworthy liar, someone who is all talk and no walk. Women need to see men fulfill their promises, and in the end, someone is only as good as their word. You have this cliche of women being nags. The thing is, it's not because of women. It's because of men not manning up and fulfilling their roles and having follow through. Women have become nags because they've grown used to not trusting the men in their lives to do what they say they're going to do. We have a society of nags now because we have a society of inactive, untrustworthy men. In a lot of circumstances, nagged husbands have earned being nagged. And many non-nagging women have been turned into nags because of their partners. If a woman has to remind a man to do something over and over and over again because he's not reliable, it turns her into something she doesn't want to be. And what's more is it signals to her that you don't actually love her because you don't care about having follow through even the smallest thing that matters to her. Take out the trash without being reminded. Tip 4. Open her car door. Something else that is going to set you apart from other men is chivalry. And I don't mean the fighting rules, because most rules of chivalry have to do with knightly combat, when it's okay to kill someone, blah, blah, blah. Pro tip, don't let her see you kill someone. I mean the gentlemanly chivalry that puts a woman on a pedestal. Most women aren't used to being put on pedestals anymore, and it will set you apart from other men. When a woman is suddenly treated staunchly well, she notices. The next thing is the most important thing. Since men are visually driven creatures, they tend to be more lust-driven than women. Now, that is a generality. I know there are exceptions to the rule. They will give into sexually depraved things more easily. The thing is, a woman cannot feel loved by a man if he actively lusts after other women. That's just how it is. Maybe you'll end up with a woman who's sexually disordered as well because she too has altered her brain chemistry. The thing is, women don't like competing with other women, especially for the attention of their man. Dun dun dun, big shock. Women don't like competing with other women at all. The majority of issues between women is that they're competing with each other for something. Better job, more attention, being better liked. And it all comes back down to jealousy. The more jealous a woman, the less emotionally stable she will be. Shocking. And she will not be happy in her relationship. And remember, happy wife, happy life. If a man is a womanizer, he is giving a subconscious cue to the woman in his life that she will never be enough for him. She will never be sexy enough, young enough, fit enough, whatever, to keep his attention. Now, if a woman marries a man and has his children, her body will now forever be changed. And if he got with her because he liked her body, and he's rigid in his sexuality, he is no longer going to be attracted to her. What kind of subconscious cues does that give to a woman? She will feel insecure, and she will never feel secure as long as the person she's with is constantly lusting after women he finds more physically attractive than her. How is she supposed to feel secure and happy if she's constantly reminded that she'll never measure up? Now, I see women deny this all the time. They're lying to themselves. That's the easiest way to say it. And they're doing it either as an emotional defense mechanism or because they too have been disordered, view other people disorderedly, and they're just trying to make themselves feel better about it. No healthy female wants their partner to lust after another woman, whether emotionally, physically, or mentally. A healthy woman wants to be the only one her partner desires. How is a woman supposed to feel protected around a man if he displays predatory behavior? Womanizing is predatory behavior. Using another human being as a means to an end and ripping away their dignity is predatory behavior. How is a woman supposed to respect a man like that? A good woman would not respect a man like that. She wouldn't be able to. So it all comes back down to, how do you make a woman feel loved? You do that by stop wanting other women. And I don't mean, oh, don't womanize in front of her. I don't mean, oh, don't let her know when you're watching porn. I mean, you actually relearn how to genuinely love another woman. Your ability to love is what will grant you the relationship that you want. You cannot fake love. So maybe you're with a woman who insists she doesn't mind. Maybe you're with a woman who puts herself on display to get affirmation from other men. A woman like that is not emotionally healthy. Most likely, she, like most women, have never experienced being truly loved. And the unfortunate truth is that most women feel like they have to earn being loved. Whether it's by saying boys will be boys and keeping their head down, or by trying to earn credentials with her body. If you show a woman genuine love, it will shock her. But genuine love has to be retained or relearned, and that's only done through self-sacrifice. That's right, men. If you want to attract and keep a good woman who will treat you like a king and have a solid, wonderful relationship with her, it all starts with self-sacrifice. Womp womp. While I could provide you, men, with a list of things to make your woman feel loved, it's not as simple as that, because genuine love can't be faked. In my last video, I told women that when they started treating their men with respect, their mindsets would change. For men, their mindsets need to change first in order to be genuinely loving. This is why women control the relationship. If a female decides on a behavior, then acts it out, whether or not it is negative or positive will be what drives the male to respond, simply because this is how our brains are wired. Men and women are different from each other, and that's not bad. It's not a matter of just finding a less emotional female, because you have to show females love, and it's pretty much the same across the board. So maybe, men, this is too much for you to accept. Maybe you've been on the hunt for a good woman, and I sound absolutely crazy to you for suggesting what I have. And there's nothing you ever want to change about yourself in order to catch the eye of a good woman who will treat you well. That's fine. I said the same thing to the women in my last video. It's okay to go about your existence the same way. It's okay to accept that you probably shouldn't be in a relationship, but don't waste anyone's time. It's okay to be who you are, but don't waste the time of a good woman who is looking for a potential partner who will treat her well. It's perfectly fine to accept that you would not make a good mate, but accept it, or change, whichever. Let's summarize. Learn her love language, and your effort to show her that you care will be put to better use. Make her feel emotionally secure so she is less likely to become jealous, which is really the root of a lot of female acting out. You do this by making sure she feels like she is the only female that you desire. You do this by ceasing all womanizing and actually making yourself into the kind of man who is capable of love. Take care of your body so that you can more easily become a provider and protector. Train yourself in self-discipline. Women love that stuff. Do you have to be an Adonis? No. Just be physically capable and take pride in your being able to be physically capable. Because you're the man. You're physically stronger. Be stronger. Do what you say you'll do. Do not turn her into a nag. Neither of you will be happy. Prove that you're the kind of man who can be manly enough to take care of things. The quicker you do what you say you do, the more easily she'll be able to see that you have follow-through and therefore are capable of being a protector and provider. You show up a self-disciplined man who does what he says he'll do and stands up for the dignity of others. I'm Regina Lux with Veritas on the Rocks, sharing some truth to try to make individuals happier and society a little bit better. Find me on my Facebook page and my Instagram. I mostly share memes. I'm still new to this gig, so if this is something you think others should see, please help me grow by sharing my content, and I'll keep in touch. Chicks do love chocolate, though. Like, don't not buy us chocolate. I'm serious.